The Magic Keyboard is definitely the best accessory for your iPad Pro and iPad Air. So in short, yes, I do recommend buying it. In this video, I'll go through my experience using it in my daily routine with my tablet, with my iPad. But before I get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. SetApp is an incredible cross-platform suite which gives you access to over 200 iOS and macOS applications without any additional cost. You only need to pay for your subscription and choose the apps that you would like to use. Now, a great benefit is that you can start a free trial when you use my affiliate link listed down below in the description. Starting with what I like the most about this keyboard, the magnets. They're very strong and will not fall off easily. Also, because it connects to your iPad using the smart connector, it doesn't require batteries, so you never need to charge it. I know this may seem kind of obvious, but if you end up buying a keyboard from another brand, they will probably connect via Bluetooth and may need battery charging from time to time. Keep this in mind. Also, one nice feature is that you can tilt the iPad back and forth, adjusting the viewing angle. Talking about the keys, it's always good to have backlit keys when working in a dark environment, so you won't be disappointed with the Magic Keyboard. When it gets a bit dark, the keys light up, helping you see the keyboard in the dark. Definitely a nice touch from Apple. And speaking of touch, the keys feel very nice and soft, and I would say they're not as good as my M2 MacBook Air, as they are a bit smaller and don't feel as spaced as a regular sized keyboard, but it's very close. Now, if you're used to typing on a MacBook, you might miss the function keys. Apple probably removed them from the Magic Keyboard to incentivize users to use gestures on the iPad. However, when using both of them connected, the whole setup is very top-heavy, making the iPad shake whenever you touch the screen. It's not much, but in my experience, I feel less inclined to touch the screen whenever I'm using the keyboard. Again, maybe it's just me being used to the MacBook, but I would love to have function keys on the Magic Keyboard. As for the trackpad, it's a bit smaller than the one on the MacBook Air and way smaller than the trackpad on the 16-inch MacBook Pro, but it does the job. You can click on things, use gestures, but there's one big difference from the new trackpads by Apple. It does not have Force Touch. It's mechanical. This is not a deal breaker, but if you love the haptic engines on the MacBook's trackpad, this one will feel different. I personally think it's okay, especially considering how thin the whole keyboard is, but it's a good point to mention. Moving on, USB-C. This is probably one of the nicest things about the Magic Keyboard, as it adds a USB-C port to your iPad. So if you want to use an external SSD and charge your iPad at the same time, you're good to go. Also, even just for charging the iPad, I think it keeps the whole setup tighter and less messy. Next topic, texture and color. It feels very soft to the touch, very close to Apple's silicone case for the iPhones, so if you like this kind of texture, you will love the keyboard. However, I do know some people can't stand these feels, so it might be a deal breaker for you. As for the colors, Apple offers it in black and white. I chose the black version, and sometimes I really wish I had gone for the white one. But the silicone here is a dirt and grease magnet, so the white one might get dirty a lot faster. On the bright side, it's very easy to clean up. I usually use a moist paper towel and it looks like new again. Okay, before I conclude, I have to talk about how the keyboard feels, especially after a long typing sessions. In short, it's very good. The keys travel a good amount, so you feel a strong feedback. However, it still doesn't feel as good as the MacBook's keyboard with the scissor mechanism. Also, it does not have the escape key, so I found myself having to touch the screen to cancel things more often than I would like. Talking about one of the most common questions people ask, price. Yes, a MacBook Air is cheaper than an iPad Pro with the keyboard. So if you don't need the Apple Pencil or any other specific features of the iPad, maybe consider a MacBook. Second, the size. Your beautiful, sexy, and slim iPad will not be so slim anymore. The Magic Keyboard is not that light, and it will make the whole setup much bulkier. In fact, it's around 3 pounds or 1.3 kilograms, which is heavier than a MacBook Air. In conclusion, the Magic Keyboard is an essential accessory for the iPad, especially if you want to use a tablet to type your documents for long periods of time or even replace your computer. Personally, I still reach for my MacBook to type my scripts and leave the iPad for lighter tasks. However, on weekends or while traveling, I do like the flexibility of typing on the keyboard for some light tasks and then taking the iPad to watch videos or use it with the Apple Pencil. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.